Before he is completely engulfed by gold, Minato-sensei advises Hotaru to believe in himself and push forward. Gurion pops into the gold cube and Troopers suddenly come flying out, shooting gold everywhere. When a gold beam is about to hit Sapana, Hyoko-san pushes him out of the way and absorbs it instead. As she is engulfed by gold, she says she is fine and encourages the kids to win this battle. Gurion tells them all to just sit and watch as he sends out even more Troopers. Inside the cube, Clotho approaches and says that her longing for power made her lose sight of what she really wanted, and that is to protect her family of Atropus and Lachesis. Clotho henshins to Dread Type 3 and vows to make Gurion pay for taking her family from her. Meanwhile, Mama Ichinos asks Hotaru where he's been when he walks into the restaurant. He apologizes, but before he can tell her more, she reveals she always knew he was a Kamen rider. Hotaru says that he came here to tell her that he has to go out and fight because he is a Kamen rider. Mama Ichino says she doesn't care if he's a Kamen rider. What if he dies out there? Hotaru says that this responsibility was thrust on him at first and it has been hard. But he is serious about it now, and he is determined to have humans and chemis live in peace. He refuses to run away from his gotcha. Mama Ichino says any mother would stop their son from going into danger. But she will not do that because she is Ichino's Hotaru's mother. She asks him to just promise her that he will fight with everything he's got and to never look back. And most importantly, promise to come home to her. Hotaru hugs his mother and promises her he will. Mama Ichinos gives Hotaru the food she had wrapped and prepared for him before he leaves. Really didn't fall far from the tree, she says. Hotaru meets with the others and shares his mother's onigiri with them. They all agree that this is really their final battle and they must take Gurion down no matter what. Just then, the largest swarm of Troopers come flying out of the cube. Hotaru, Sapana, and Rina directly henshin to their final forms. Gurion manifests the Maikoku Kings once again, but this time as his dolls. Back inside the cube, Clotho gives everything she's got against Gurion, including an over-catastrophe all-card finisher. But it is no match for Gurion, who easily forces her to dehenshin. Sabimaru and Renge do what they can to hold off the Troopers as well. And together with Rine and Sapana, hold down the fort below to allow Hotaru to manifest a bridge to the cube. As Sapana battles Jijist, Papa Kudo appears to team up with Rina against the other two kings. Hotaru crashes into the cube and is forced to dehenshin. Clotho comes stumbling in front of him and collapses. Hotaru runs over and takes her in his arms. Clotho says if she had never met Hotaru, she would have never realized what she truly wanted. She begs him not to fall here and will curse him if he lets Gurion win. Clotho asks Hotaru to promise to make his dream a reality. Just then, Clotho sees her sisters Atropus and Lachesis appear to her. She grabs their hands and she dies. Leave the rest to me, Hotaru says. Gurion walks up and mocks Clotho as merely a weapon of war who suddenly had dreams of happiness. Joy, hopes, dreams, love, they're all meaningless words that the weak cling on to. Hotaru says chemis and humans and the sisters have every right to help each other reach new heights. Gurion says Hotaru is naive. When he turns everything into gold, he'll be able to create something of lasting worth. That is the goal of alchemy, after all. Hotaru and Gurion henshin. Back down below, Sabimaru and Renge quickly save civilians from Troopers using their freeze-in-place formula bazooka. Included in this group of civilians are Takchan and the thugs from the other day. They are shocked that the alchemists would save them. Renge says of course they would, especially to prove that they and the chemis are on the side of the people. Ryo arrives to join Renge and Sabimaru and they hurry to help others in danger. Takchan and the thugs are inspired by the alchemists to do what they can to help as well. Renge, Sabimaru, and Sapana reunite with Rina and Papa Kudo as they finish off the remaining kings. They hurry over to Hotaru. Hotaru is struggling against Gurion, who starts by turning Nijigen into gold, and then all the other chemis who come to help as well, forcing Hotaru to downhenshin. Hopper 1 and Steamliner are finally turned to gold and Hotaru now dehenshins, allowing Gurion to destroy the driver. Gurion picks up the golden Nijigen and uses him to embiggen the Troopers. That speeds up the golding of the earth, including Hotaru himself. While Gurion marvels at his El Dorado, he is shocked to see Hotaru moving and fighting through the gold. Gurion tries to shoot more gold at him, but Hotaru is able to push forward, powered by the feelings, hopes, and dreams of his family and friends. Hotaru is able to break free of the gold, saying he will never give up. He transmutes a new gotcha driver, and all the chemis, even while gold, pop into it. Hotaru declares he will create a whole new world because he is a big-shot alchemist now. He henshins to Steamhopper Ultima, And to Gurien's shock, Hotaru transmutes all the gold of Earth to create a brand new world. Gurien says the Philosopher's Stone's power should have been complete, but Hotaru says his alchemy wasn't so perfect after all. Minato-sensei and Kyoka-san join the kids as they watch Hotaru punch Gurien into the sky and toward the new world. Gurien says alchemy like this has never been seen before, but Hotaru says while Gurien's ability was incredible, no one will be happy if he uses it in the way he wanted. All the CHEMYs are behind Hotaru, who says that eternity just means nothing would be able to move forward. What they need to do is push on, no matter what, so they can all create a new gotchas. Hotaru and the CHEMYs battle Gurien, overwhelming him with all their powers. And finally, the CHEMYs power Hotaru's final kick at Gurien. They force the Philosopher's Stone out of his body, and it shatters into 100 pieces, each of them being absorbed by each of the CHEMYs. Gurien marvels at the beauty of chemistry as he turns to burnt ash. A few months later, Hotaru is speaking with the gorgeous Kaguya over the phone, telling him all about the final battle and its aftermath. Hotaru says nothing big has changed, more so, a lot of little changes. Now that people have heard the stories, the academy has gotten a lot of new students. Minato-sensei is amused by Renji and Sabimaru leading tours of the campus. Sapana has found a new goal. Kyoka-san says he has a lot left to live for both him and Lachesis. Rina is working on becoming a stronger alchemist than her father as she has a friend she would like to see again. As for the CHEMYs, they have gone back to being sort of an urban legend, partly fueled by Taken's viral videos. Some of Kitchen Ichinos' customers talk about the legends. Though skeptical, they'd love to see some CHEMYs if they are real. Hotaru says they didn't erase anyone's memories, but grown-ups surprisingly seem eager to forget such happenings. Perhaps out of convenience. Mama Ichinos comes over to remind Hotaru that today is a big day. He almost forgot. So Hotaru tells his mother he'll be back soon and hurries out, bumping into a customer accompanying Ma-san and Shima-chan. She tells her father, Ma-san, that she senses Hotaru is a special guy. Mama Ichinos takes the photo of their family and tells Papa Ichinos that Hotaru really takes after him. Hotaru meets with the others on New Earth, which will become a sanctuary for the CHEMYs. Hotaru is excited to see everyone together, but Sapana says they are not here for a picnic, but to see whether this planet is suitable for human life. Hopper 1 arrives, bringing Rio with him to New Earth. Renji says Hotaru's big dream might just come true one day, but Hotaru is sure it will. Hotaru trips over himself and Rine helps him up. She feels a déjà vu from this moment, but now it's time for them to push forward for their new gotchas. Later, Kaguya and Hotaru meet Kamen writer Gavv to give him a special new gochizo. He thanks them and gives them some gummies. Episode thoughts. Oh, did Hotaru achieve his gotcha or not? LOL, I mean, he wanted humans and CHEMYs to live in a peaceful world together, side by side. But he instead created a whole new world for just the CHEMYs. But actually, this was a very interesting finale. And I'll be honest, I had to think a lot about it and the season to appreciate it. But before we get to that, let's just talk about this episode first. I think it played out very well. I think there were two highlights for me. First was Clotho's death and that moment with her sisters. That was the first GMCM for me in this episode. It was really great to see that moment and remember how we first met them in episode 1. Clotho's final words to Hotaru also helped me to understand what perhaps this whole season was about. But again, we'll get to that in a minute. The other highlight was Hotaru and Mama Ichinos at the restaurant. I have loved their relationship and bond all season long. Their mother-son relationship has been so strong all year. And it has helped to provide a big chunk of the depth of Hotaru's story. Her support and encouragement for her son kind of exemplifies what Hotaru ended up being for other people, which in turn helped him to grow as well. But it's that kind of simple, though meaningful relationship between a mother and son that adds so much to our title hero as a character. How can you not be emotional watching a mother worried about her son, but also having trust and belief in him to allow him to go out there and fight? The onigiri that she had already prepared and had ready for Hotaru was such a nice detail to show that. The rest of the episode then showcased the strong bonds our academy friends and the whole gang have developed through the year. And it's that bond that powered Hotaru to find the way to defeat Gurien for good. Elsewhere, great to see our gorgeous Kaguya once again. It is a satisfying conclusion to the season. Though I wouldn't be surprised if many don't think so.